Hello and welcome back to Inside the Man Cave. In this episode, we are looking at more of my Starlog Magazine Collection. In this Starlog, it's a big focus on E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial. We have it number 63 and it's from October, and I believe it's from 1982. So here we have a big feature on E.T., the Steven Spielberg classic. So an inside story revealed by Steven Spielberg, so that's pretty cool. Up here we have Spock Speaks exclusive Leonard Nimoy interview, so that is really cool. We've got a little prize thing. 279 spectacular prizes. Science fiction treasure hunt game. So yeah, but I don't think we can win any of the prizes. And some sneak previews of Android, the Beastmaster, and interview with Kurt Russell too. So it's a bit of a jam-packed Starlog magazine we have here. And right off the bat, we've got some really cool merchandise for Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And yeah, fun fact, it's probably, like, I'm not a massive big Star Trek fan, I'm more into Star Wars than Star Trek, but this is definitely my favorite Star Trek film. And over here, we just have what's going on in this magazine. So yeah, October 1982, number 63, the magazine of the future. And then down here, we've just got what we've got in for all of these things. So there's like a celebrity treasure hunt, scoring Star Trek 2, and then we will always have the classified information. That's always fun, because I really make these magazines almost like a time machine, where you're almost going back in time and seeing what it was like back in the day. And then we have from the bridge, that's always just like a little segment from the publisher and everything like that, so it's a quite a big one. And then over here is just sort of all the good people that work on Starlog. We have the communications here, where it sort of tells us about sort of the some of the good, like the news, where people can sort of, I think it's where like people can actually just write in to Starlog magazine and talk to some of the editors and publishers. So yeah, there's a bit on some Star Trek here, and it continues. This is all about sort of the fandom, sort of weighing in into the science fiction world. And communications just continues over the page with some more people writing in to and wanting to know more about their favorite sci-fi or comment on their favorite sci-fi project. And then talking about science fiction right here, we have a science fiction convention, some of the ones that are coming up in Boston and Manhattan and Philadelphia as well, and some comic book conventions. So that is really cool. And then over here we have an E.T. storybook. So yeah, a great way to sort of just go back in time and what it was like in the very early 80s. The next section is log entries, where they give you sort of a layout of all the sort of the newest news and movie news and story news that is in the pop culture collection for sci-fi and everything like that, so people can get their heads around what's in store and what's coming up. And here Indiana Jones has a birthday, so I will try to get as much of it as I can, but it is hard trying to get it all on camera. And here's some news over here with Roger Moore back as James Bond in his next film, which would have been Octopussy. And then over the page, we've just got some more ads, and I think this is a membership book collection. Next, we have the big article on E.T., so the main front cover image. And this is a really giant color spread on E.T. Definitely a fan favorite film of mine, and it's just, yeah, it's such a beautiful film. Directed by the amazing Steven Spielberg. So this goes into a little bit about sort of the making of E.T. and a little insight into the film. And here is our big focus on E.T. So you have the actor who played Elliot over there. We have a fantastic image of E.T. Let's close up. And then, yeah, this talks a little bit about sort of the making of the film. And then you've got some behind. I think they're not really behind the scenes. There's still shots of the film. And then over here, there's a little segment which is really nice. It's like Steven Spielberg said, when Elliot and E.T. embraced in the film's finale, the entire crew was crying. They were sobbing, not only on the first take, but all the takes. They were crying in the full view of E.T. and how E.T. was manipulated. And then Carlo said, "For me, it was impossible to cry. I see E.T. and I know everything inside." So yeah, I still actually remember that moment in the final scenes with E.T. And yeah, that was definitely a heart stopper in that one. And then it just sort of continues over the page. It goes into a lot of detail. But yeah, if you can ever get your hands on these Starlog magazines, I think you can sort of try and get them at little like antique bookstores or even eBay. They're definitely worth getting into if you're into the film industry or into science fiction, which I am both in, and yeah, want to know the history of it and go into go back in time, as you will. And there's some popular Starlog magazines, and unfortunately I don't have a massive amount of Starlog magazines, but I want to maybe hopefully build up more of my collection one day. We have a segment here with James Horner, new melodies for the Starship Enterprise. So a little sort of talk about, they're sort of promoting Star Trek 2. So I think a little bit inside there's a little information about Spock's theme. So that's really cool, and that sort of just goes over the page. There's a lot inside look in this Star Trek, and especially with the Starlog magazines, you'll find Star Trek is heavily featured in mostly all of them. We have a double page ad with Soundtrack Spectacular, all the different soundtracks that are available. So some of the ones I definitely know is Halloween 2, so that's on there, and Escape from New York, definitely fantastic ones by the legendary John Carpenter. North by Northwest, and then you've got a description of all the different soundtracks, and you can actually sort of mail and write them in, and I think you can even get the soundtracks delivered to you. We have a Starlog interview with the legendary Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek, and a great picture with the two actors, and I think they're just sort of discussing Star Trek 2, and my goodness, it was a good film. And I'm not even a massive Trekkie, but Star Trek 2 was a really great film. And yeah, it's a big interview with Leonard Nimoy, and it sort of just continues a lot over the pages. Some really great screenshots from the film, hopefully not too spoilers if you've never seen Star Trek 2, but definitely worth checking out. And then he's doing sort of his signature move that he does, and then there's some, I think, merchandise for Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan. a cap you can get, so that's interesting. Next we have is about the prizes. At the start of the front cover, they had, if I can just flip back, they did have a section where you're selling a whole bunch of prizes. So these are sort of the prizes you can get from Starlog's campaign or whatever they were doing. So they have the first prize is a sort of home console or something like that. Second prize, or that's the grand prize. So this is the first prize, is an ET bike. Then second prize, you've got these sort of masks. Third prize, I think maybe look like some limited edition comics. And then we've got some more lower prizes, but still good. We've got some soundtracks for a Creep Show, Blade Runner, Poltergeist, and Tron. The Star Frontiers role-playing game. We've got some Star Trek hats, a Tron poster, some more ET merchandise. Got some books, and some more other goodie stuff. So that's sort of a little competition that we're running in this episode, in this book for Starlog. Next we have a big image on the making of Android. So don't know much about this film, but yeah, just a little insight of what this film is, and then it sort of continues over the page with another big double spread, and you've got some cool behind the scenes photos as well from the film. Maybe one that I'll have to check out at some stage. In the quest section, we have a little, I think, glimpse into some artwork, I think for sale. Some very cool, kind of very Dungeons and Dragons inspired. And then there's some, a Blade Runner poster. We have a section on John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell. There's something on his mind, so I think there's some a little story with about Kurt Russell. You've got Elvis Presley there, so and that's a big spread. I think that was when I think maybe that's The Thing, or those films, the New York, Escape from New York films. But that also continues, and then you've got some images from the actual Thing film by, I think it was by John Carpenter. We have an inside look at Beastmasters, I think an upcoming film, an action film, but I am not too sure about that. I've not seen this film, but yeah, it's a pretty freaky image there. But that's a little spread with Beastmasters. We've got another classifieds section where it has just all the things that people wanting to sell, the merchandise there. They have attention Star Wars fans. I think they want to sell some autographs or something like that. And then just got some other different little things to subscribe to and so forth. But always cool seeing these classifieds and getting an inside look at the past of the Starlog era. And we're over the page. We've got some space fashion, some very interesting space fashion here. And then the Starlog trading post. So very inside look. We've got a Battlestar Galactica Iron Transfer book, Kodak's animation guide. So there we go. We're up to the last part now, so we always get the last word from the editor, and then you have a special of what's coming up in the next issue, which I don't have, unfortunately, and that one comes on sale Thursday, October 7th, 1982. So that is the last word, and over here we've just got some another ad. There's some other this is another magazine that I wouldn't mind start collecting at one point called Fangoria. It's a horror related, so this is much more of like a science fiction related magazine. That's more of a horror related, and I like both science fiction and horror. So that's it over the page, and then the last page, there's some photo guidebooks for sale. We've got like a Star Wars villains one there. Yeah, I wouldn't mind sort of collecting a whole bunch of these sort of retro magazines, more different variety ones in the future. But that is the Starlog magazine, a little bit short and sweet one, not too much in it, but definitely the big focus was the ET. That yeah, I do have a lot of special memories watching this film, and I absolutely love this film. So yeah, it was good to relive it again. But thank you for joining me on another Starlog magazine. I still have a few more to get through for the end of the year, and that'll be it. But thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in another episode of Inside the Man Cave and another Starlog magazine.